What's up, y'all? I'm Tari Henson.
And I'm Darren DeWitt Henson, and you're watching and listening to
In the Groove Podcast.
Now, today we have an incredible show that is really for your pockets. You know, one of the things that I was thinking about today was Rumi made a quote a long time ago. He said, "Yesterday, I was clever, so I tried to change the world. But today, I'm wise, so I'm gonna change myself." I think that's so profound because it's about changing ourselves in order to change the world. And today we have brand manager, money maker, creator. This woman has done so much for so many. When you say millions, you gotta put her name in the conversation. We have Miss Ari Squires with us today.
Welcome to the groove.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So now, Ari, you literally do so much for so many. I've watched you help people build their brands from the ground up. And I've watched you do it literally on your own. I mean, when we originally met, I met you at a seminar where you first started learning.
Yeah.
You own businesses already, but I saw you at the very beginning. Can you tell us, like Rumi, he said he was clever, he wanted to change the world, but when he realized that he became wise, he changed himself. Can you tell me how you changed yourself so you can do what you're doing, which helps so many people?
Ooh, I've changed myself in a lot of ways, but I think the main and most important thing was releasing some chains, right? You know, that's my whole movement, releasing the chains. I wrote a book about it. I got a film about it. It's just about removing those aspects and those people and those things in our lives that no longer nourish us, no longer serve us, and that's huge. And we have to be able to identify those things and release them so that we can create room for what's for us. And so that has been the thing for me. So when I met you, I was at my infancy stage of entrepreneurship. It was just me by myself. Now I have a team of 20 that help me manage brands, 6 and 7 figure brands, celebrity brand. And it's just been this full circle moment of just, you know, going through that process. And when I work with my clients, I find that I have to help them to release their chains sometimes, because sometimes we don't believe that we can become better, that we can improve, that we can become millionaires, that our business can do 7 figures because of some story we've been telling ourselves, some childhood experiences, right? So sometimes I have to go through that process with my clients who are already multi-6 figures and give them the empowerment or the tools, really, because it is a tool. It is a strategy and a technique to be able to release your chain. So that's the gist of it.
That's amazing. So you are an award-winning brand manager and a business growth speaker.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about your background and what led you to creating your particular company?
Wow, my background, y'all. So I can never just say I started out on top, right? I talked about my infancy stage, right? I come from, you know, the streets, you know, in the homeless, incarcerated, you know, making dumb decisions because I wanted to create my own freedom so bad. Right, I wanted to just be in control of my life and create my own reality, and so that led to that whole turning around and knowing that I gotta release some things, right, and become better. And so I started a dance performing arts school because I wanted to create change in my community for other young girls to be in a place where they can see another black woman in a place of positivity. And then from that experience, the mothers were asking me to help them with their businesses, and I was like, oh, I could do that all day long. Because business is just natural for me. I can see money that people can't see.
So how did that become something natural for you?
I think I've just always been like a logical thinker. I'm very strategic. I'm a planner. I enjoy negotiating and sales and marketing. It's just natural for me. Yeah.
That's incredible. So you kind of just flowed right into that and found your niche, really, right?
Yeah. And it was crazy because I didn't even know that was what I was going to do. You know, sometimes you don't realize that you enjoy something until you actually start doing it. And you're like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Okay, so you said the other mothers wanted your help in growing their businesses. So what were the things that you did to help these women?
Just started doing boot camps, you know, little $99 small business boot camps right in my dance school, and then I started hosting conferences. and seminars, and I just started bringing on clients, and I started seeing that they were actually getting results from just my natural gift of being able to produce businesses. And then from there, people started saying, hey, can you come and speak to our group? Can you come speak to our organization, help them with their sales? And so it just grew into this whole brand of helping people build their businesses.
So what is your unique strategy in teaching business and business strategy for brand growth?
Yeah, it's really about creating brand equity, and a lot of people aren't familiar with that term. But brand equity is the way that your brand is perceived in this marketplace. So it's the value that you position, how you position yourself, right? Because anybody can show up online, anybody can show up with a postcard in the mail, but is it valuable? Do I see substance in it? And the more value or the more equity, just like a home or land, right? The more value or equity that your brand has, the more people gonna pay you, right? And the more they're gonna appreciate you, and the longer your business will be able to sustain itself. Because now people want this microwave success, and they don't have enough equity to sustain it over a long period of time.
Now
So
let me ask you something about that, because that triggers something to me. When you say microwave success, there's an old African proverb that says, when you want to run fast, right?
Run by yourself.
Run by yourself.
Run by yourself. But when you want to run far, you run together. Right? So it's
My favorite.
It's so amazing to me, because a lot of times people think they can do it all on their own.
Yes.
And you can't.
It's
You need
impossible.
a team to go, grow, and glow. So let me ask you this. Wealth wounds. How many people have you met that actually think, I'm gonna get the bag, but they have so many wealth wounds? And how do you show them how to close those wounds?
Oh, they gotta tap into their story. They have to tap into what's keeping them stuck. They have to tap into their mentality. They have to let go of something. But you're right, it's so crazy because we think it's easy. Some people think it's easy, right? Because people only show their highlight reels and we see the success. But in reality, most people are not that successful, if we're being honest.
That's right.
Right? And so to help when you say wealth wounds, can you describe your definition of a wealth wound so I can make sure that I answer
Absolutely.
that properly?
A wealth wound is something that you've had since you were a child. So in other words, when you were a child, you were told you can't afford that. Money don't grow on trees. Where am I going to pull the money out of my ass? Money don't fall out the sky, right? So these are all of the things that some of us heard as we were children, and we grow up with them.
Yeah.
So when we look at the cars, when we desire things, and some of us can't afford those things, right? But we go out and buy it anyway. That's because you have wealth wounds. You don't really believe that you deserve it, because if you deserved it, then you would work for it, you would learn, and you would expand your mind on learning how to obtain it without it costing you more. So a wealth wound is actually something that depreciates the money that you have, or doesn't allow you to get more.
Now I have to go through that myself. That's been my story. I've been, as I said, I was in the streets, I was hustling, I was selling drugs, and so I was used to.
Wait a minute, hold on.
This was
Wait, hold
a
on.
long time ago.
Hold on.
This was a long
Wait, hold
time
on.
ago.
The Artie Squires that I know was in the street.
Yeah, I was. Yes.
She said hustling.
Yeah, selling
so-
drugs, doing things that I had no business doing, just because I wanted to create my own freedom. And it's your circle too. It's your circle. So when it comes to those wealth wounds, and we can get back to my story, it's about changing your circle.
Yeah.
Because you have to be around people who have released what I call financial chains, same things as wealth wounds.
That's right.
So you have to create new circles.
That's right.
You have to get around new conversations. You have to sit in different tables.
That's right.
And that's what I've been able to do, and that's what I help other people do. That's why I create masterminds, from here to South Africa.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So people can have these different conversations. And that helps because you see other people and they're sharing their story of incarceration, selling drugs, in and out of jail, homelessness. And then here I am now after having released those wealth wounds that I have myself. Many of us,
Breaking those
especially
chains.
especially with us as black people, we're so used to seeing moms dishing, don't answer that phone because it's the bill collector, right? Those of us that grew up, in the 80s and 90s. So yeah, that's a tough thing to do. So you have to create new experiences for yourself.
So you did talk about your infancy in business and, coming out of the situation that you were in. Can you kind of describe maybe a couple of challenges that you had to overcome, in your transition to where you are now?
Yeah, embarrassment, shame. Shame was my biggest shame. Just here I am, this successful black woman with these little black girls, and them not really knowing who I was, because it was something I didn't want to disclose. You get what I'm saying? Because I was so ashamed.
So there was shame in your background.
In my background, yeah. But once I realized that I wasn't showing up authentically, because I was blocking my blessings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you don't show up as your full, complete, authentic self, who you, no matter what your story is, then you block your blessings.
That's right.
I agree with that, because I'm a big believer in, you went through your past for a reason. It's created you. It's essentially molded you into, having that foundation to become the person that you are always meant to be.
Absolutely.
So that definitely resonates with me.
Yeah.
So, okay. Business is going great. You're helping other people. I know that you're going to South Africa for conference or mastermind.
I'm hosting a mastermind and conference there and a tour. Yes, I'm so excited about that. Who would have thought that my little old me would be a global brand, right? It's crazy.
Well, you did. You went forth.
You did, yeah.
One of the things that
true, right?
that I love,
Somebody got to believe
that's
it.
right. One of the things that I love about your brand, Release the Change, right? It didn't say cut them off, chop them off. It said release them.
Yeah.
Release them means you're holding on to them, right?
Yep.
So when you released your change and now you can show other people how to release theirs, we say each one teach one, we can reach one, right?
Yeah.
So now you're going to South Africa, and this is international.
Yeah.
You're showing women in South Africa, you're showing men in South Africa how to protect, how to build their brand. Talk about the equity that goes along with the brands, brand equity.
Yeah, so there's many different ways you can build your equity in your brand. Sometimes by creating, I have a book, The 21 Principles to Build a High Income Brand. And one of those is create a brand that's exclusive. Like, you shouldn't be able, and everybody shouldn't have access to you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And so that creates equity, right? There's so many things. Attaching yourself to greatness, right? Attaching yourself to something like a board, like a high board, somewhere where most people can't get in that room, like a prestigious situation, and attach yourself to that.
That's right.
That also builds equity in your brand, right? So there's lots of ways to build equity in your brand, and it's so important, and people don't even think about it. They think about, I'm just going to show up, I'm just going to post 3 times a day, I'm going to get on TikTok because everybody else is on TikTok, and they're not intentional. So building equity and building that value, you have to be strategic and you have to be intentional.
And you definitely have to continue a strategy, because it's not as easy as posting.
Right.
I mean, just
It's
myself
not.
as an entrepreneur, it's so vast. There's so much there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know that you are also in, the financial space, and you talk a lot about silent money. Can you kind of give us a little rundown on that?
I love silent money. Silent money is making money offline. And because, like I've said many times, people just hop online. And a lot of times our ideal client, our ideal customers are not online. The people that are writing those big checks, like my client just literally got I just posted it on my page, a $50,000 grant.
Wow.
He didn't get that online. He got that silently. Silent money. So silent money is creating a brand offline. And so what I call is like the old school. I've been in business over 20 years. And so it's the old school of doing business actually still works. And a lot of my clients are making millions of dollars behind the scenes and don't even show up online at all. They don't even have a Facebook page at all. So that's what I call that silent money.
And it's that word of mouth that actually does it for them.
Referrals,
It's
word
referrals.
of mouth, equity,
Business
being in the right
relationships.
rooms, business relationships, all of
Networking
those
is still
things.
a valid form of
Get
business.
out of your house, put some clothes on, comb your hair,
That's right.
and go and meet some folks and go to some masterminds. Listen to these types of things so you can figure out what they're doing, what they're hosting, so you can get out of your house and go be in those rooms, because relationships are so important.
If you haven't heard it, we're going to give you a gift today. Your net worth is equal to your network. So if you don't know anybody, you aren't doing anything, you probably aren't going anywhere. And the closest 5 friends that you have, that I have, that anybody has, are normally in the same tax bracket together. So people are always talking about they want to become millionaires, become millionaires. Well, how do you do that if all your friends aren't? We talk about this here. Each one teach one, we can reach one, which really means, as Ari said, you gotta get a new circle. I was taught a long time ago, if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to go into a new room.
Yeah, you're
right?
in the wrong room.
You in the wrong room. And I've watched you grow and grow and grow. I've watched you, diversify in so many different ways. But one of the things collectively that I've seen you do is you stuck with your brand. You didn't try this, you didn't try that, and then try something else. You stuck with your brand, and that's why it's growing internationally.
Yeah.
And so when you have, and it's not just for people of color, like people have a tendency to think that, look, money is green. Money doesn't care who holds it. Money is like a fickle woman. If you don't pay attention to it, she will leave you. Okay? She will leave you. So what we realize is that where focus goes, energy grows.
Yes.
And energy grows where focus goes.
So true.
Right?
So true. Absolutely true. Yeah, and I love, we can talk about making money, and I tell people, hey, how many of you guys are here to make money? And like, if you didn't raise your hand, go ahead and leave, because we're here to learn about making money. And it's not about making money so we can floss and show off, but a lot of time for me, I want to be able to give back. You can't help. It's hard to help somebody when you don't have nothing of your own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't pay for children to participate in extracurricular activities if I don't have the funds to do, because that would have kept me out.
And building generational wealth, and being a good example for your children. So I know that you're married and you have kids, right?
Yeah, I've been married 19 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
So 19 years of business. How many children do you have?
2.
2 children.
Yep.
How do you, from one black woman to another, how do you balance it all?
I don't call it balancing. I call it like blending.
I like that.
Because it's
Explain that
hard
to
to
me.
balance. So I just blend it all. I just make it all work cohesively together without stressing over it, and knowing that things are gonna, not be perfect all the time, right?
It can't be perfect,
Yeah,
but it can be blended.
It can be
cohesive.
blended,
I like
yeah.
that.
So I like making my kids. I have he's 15 now, and a 28-year-old daughter. And I like making them a part of the process, a part of my business, a part of my growth. And I bring them and I include them. Like, okay, pack your bags. We're going to New Orleans for conference. I have to work, but
Oh,
we're
so
going
they come with you.
Oh yeah. And then they help. Like, even I, had a podcast. My son is behind the camera, learning, and they're learning from the experience of it all. My daughter, she owns her own investment property at 27.
Wow.
So I just want to be an example, and I think I can show you better than I can tell you.
Yeah.
Right? Because you know how that is.
Yeah, of course.
Our parents tell us stuff. We like, whatever.
That's
Do
right.
as I
That's right.
do
Do as I say, not as I do.
not as I do.
Yes,
Right?
yeah. But I want them to see us doing.
Yeah.
Because that's where that's where you learn.
That's
I
right.
think. Yeah.
People watch people.
Yes.
They don't listen to what they say.
Yes.
They watch you, and that's
They
what
do.
children do, right? So
Yeah.
let me ask you something. They got to be proud of you. They're watching mommy develop this. So are you seeing it now? You said your daughter owns her own investment property at age 27.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't do that ever.
Yeah.
So she
I wasn't thinking about it.
she had an example.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
And your son, do you see that he is either going in the direction of his dad or in the direction that you're going in? But do you see anything rubbing off from them? Because kids are living in a whole
Yeah.
different time than
They
how
are.
we grew up now.
Yeah.
What do you see in terms of technology that they're utilizing now that you or their dad may have taught them?
Yeah, my 15-year-old is me and my husband 50-50. He has half of both of us, right? And I say like the good of me and the good, and then the bad. It's just everything, right? But no, he's very inquisitive. He came in my room the other day and he said, "Hey, Mom, how much is $5 times $100,000?" And I was like, that's 500,000. He was
Right.
like, wow, that's how much this guy just made on YouTube, you know?
Wow.
And I was like, well, how did he make that much money? He was like, he was consistent. And for him to say that at
to
15,
know that. Yeah,
that he
to
know
know
he didn't
that.
get it overnight, that it just wasn't handed to him. But he said he was consistent. So to use that word at 15, I definitely can see that we're rubbing off. However, pray for him.
Yeah. That's right.
Because I don't know what he's gonna. I have no idea what.
That's right.
He don't know what he want to do. I don't know, but he'll figure it out.
He'll figure it
But,
out.
Yeah.
It's coming. So I must say, you look gorgeous today,
Oh, thank
and
you.
I understand that
Thank
this is a
you.
new haircut.
Yes, I just cut off all my hair. Yes.
So what inspired this change?
Oh man, I had a relaxer for years, and I just wanted to free myself of it.
Good
You
for
know,
you.
I've been seeing all these beautiful women, sisters like yourself, just being free with their natural hair and their just natural bodies and just this natural. And I just wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And it was just time, and I just feel so free. You know, just going through that process of cutting, it's just this magical
It's
experience.
a mental lift, as also too with your health. You know, I stopped getting perms when I was about 16 years old. I went completely natural, and it's not an easy process to start and maintain. It's a lot of work. I mean, I'm for weaves and wigs and expressing
Nothing
yourself.
against it. Y'all throw
but-
a weave in here real quick.
Oh,
Don't get it
my
twisted.
goodness. Don't play. But I think that there's something to be said for actually being proud of what I call your crown. You know, the crown that you're wearing, and being able to take care of it. So, you know, kudos to you.
Thank you.
Speaking on that, what are some of the things that you do? I mean, you've got a full plate. You've got a family, a husband, you've got businesses, you're teaching other people, you're traveling. What do you do for you? What are some of your beauty routines, and how do you fill your own cup?
I really take care of myself. I have no problem with stopping everything and just taking a moment or a full day or anything just for myself. You know, I do travel a lot, and I actually travel solo by myself. I just came back from Tulum, a week in Tulum, and I was working.
That's an amazing place to
I
vacation. Oh
love
my God.
Tulum.
Yeah, it's an
The
amazing
food.
place.
Oh,
It's amazing.
goodness.
Just
The
be careful
food.
with Montezuma's Revenge.
What's that?
That's
Oh my
when
God, you don't know.
When you drink the water,
Oh.
Montezuma's Revenge. I
Okay.
I gotta tell you this.
Yeah.
I
was
caught
on that
Montezuma's
yesterday.
Revenge, and anybody who knows what this is, I empathize with you because I had it for 3 days.
Ooh.
I shit on myself.
Oh.
I pissed on myself.
Oh my God.
Nobody came to see me because everybody kept partying. Right?
Not laughing at him, we're just,
I couldn't even get Gatorade. So I'm telling you, whenever you go out there, be careful.
I just experienced it yesterday.
Oh.
Darren, all day
Stop
yesterday. I was
it.
in.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not a
You
game.
drink the water.
Well, I had coffee at the airport coming
Oh,
back,
yeah.
and I
It's
think
not
that's
a
what
game.
did it.
It's in
not a
the
game.
place that you least expected, because I think you said you got it in a soup or something.
Yeah,
or-
so what I did,
the ice?
in
The
ice.
ice,
So what
that's
I
a big
did
one.
was I thought, of course, they use bottled water in their soups. Nope. Let me tell you, when the people came to clean the room, the first day I didn't lock the door. I forgot to lock the door. They came in, and I was like that lady in the movie
Look away.
Bridesmaids.
Look away.
Look away. It was shit everywhere on the bed. This is real talk. Montezuma's Revenge, you got cramps.
Yep.
You're throwing up. It was coming out from both
Constant
ends.
projectile,
Yeah.
I believe the term is.
Yeah.
And so
I had it yesterday.
Ooh.
it's not fun.
It's not at all. But I take my trips. I take my solo vacations, and I just don't have a to-do list. And that is the most beautiful experience in the world. People are like, you're here by yourself? Absolutely. And I'm having a ball. Because I enjoy my own company.
Yeah, and it says a lot for you to have learned that you need to take a break.
Yes.
Because we're kind of in a society where it's don't sleep, don't stop till the job's done, but it's like you can only sustain for so long.
Yeah, absolutely. Very true. Very true. And I get my massages. I don't do facials, but I do my massages. I take my time to just, decompress.
Take and decompress. Do what you
Yeah.
need to do for you, because if you don't do for you, nobody else can benefit.
Absolutely. And
Right?
there you go.
No one else can
Absolutely.
benefit. You
That's
gotta,
why my husband's like, go ahead, enjoy
That's right.
yourself. I'll see you when you get. Well, now we talk every day, every
That's
time.
right.
But, I'll see you when you get back. 'Cause he knows
But
I
the
need it.
individual you needs it as well. Like
Yeah.
I find that when
Yeah.
people take care of themselves individually, they can do things collectively. But you've got to start with you. And that's what Rumi was talking about at the top of the show. We were talking about that, right?
Yeah.
Like he wanted to change the world, but you have to change yourself first. Michael Jackson talked about that, right? The man or the woman in the mirror.
Yeah.
And so I you know, look, as much as we do in society, people always have something to say to someone about someone. But how much do we really practice what we preach? How much have we really gone through ourselves that we have gone through it, learned the lesson, that way we can properly teach? Because the internet, like you said, the internet is a microwave, right? People only put the best selves out there.
Right.
But in order for you to be able to teach somebody, you've got to go through it. You know, to manage money. I've heard you say this before. Managing $50 is the same thing as managing $5 million. If you can't manage 50, you can't manage $5 million.
Absolutely.
I've heard you say that.
It's all mental. It's all mental. It's all, like I said at the top, releasing, unlearning, and relearning. That's what it is.
Releasing the chains.
Releasing the chains.
Releasing the chains.
Yep, absolutely.
There you have it.
So, Ari, can you tell the audience where they can find you?
Sure, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Ari Squires Speaks. And my website, arisquires.com. I got some free gifts on there. You can holler at me. A lot of people always ask for business tips. I'm always willing to share.
And when are you going to Africa?
October 24th.
Okay.
Oh, coming up.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Awesome.
And congratulations on that. You know,
Thank you.
just from meeting you, we're
you.
so proud to see your growth and continuing, and something that you love to do, because that's important.
That is very
You're
important.
such a queen.
That's very important.
Such
Thank
a queen.
Such a
Beautiful
queen.
queen.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Tari Henson.
And I'm Darren DeWitt Henson.
And you've been grooved.